Hello everyone, it's Sir Chris back to give you another lecture on graphs. The first few slides of this lecture is essentially a review of what we have already learned previously. So let's just speed run through it. So let's recall what a graph is. So a graph is essentially a finite set of points called vertices or nodes, and it can be either directed or undirected based on whether or not those edges contain direction. If there is an arrow, it's considered a direct edge or an arc. If there is no arrow, it's just considered an edge. Basic terms. Let's remember adjacency versus incident. Adjacency in an undirected graph represents the relationship between two vertices. So if there is an edge or a line from vertex A to B, it just means that A is adjacent to B and B is adjacent to A. Incident, rather, is the relationship between an edge and the vertices. So, the edge AB is adjacent to incident to A, and the edge AB is also incident to B. So adjacency is the relationship between vertices, and incident is the relationship between an edge and a vertex. The path and the length of the path. So path is just a sequence of vertices going from one vertex to another. So the path from A to C is essentially A to B to C, or A to D to C, or A to D to B to C, or if you want to go crazy, you can do A to D to B to A to D to C. It doesn't matter as long as there are lines or edges going from one vertex to another. And the length of your path is determined by the number of edges that was used to get to the specific destination vertex. So the path from A to B to D to C has a length of 3. 1, 2, 3. A connected graph, I don't think we used this term yet, but essentially it's a graph wherein there exists a path for every pair of vertices. So if I have 4 vertices here, there has to be a path going from any vertex to another vertex. This is considered an unconnected graph because I have vertices f, g, h, I, but there is no path going from this set of vertices to these set of vertices. So it's unconnected. So the subgraph. So a subgraph of G, or subgraph G, with vertices and edges, is a graph, or a subgraph of G is a graph G prime, where it also has V prime and E prime edges, where V prime is a subset of V and E prime is a subset of E. So it just means if I have vertices A, B, and C, and they belong in the supergraph A, B, C, D, that means this could be a subgraph of this. Only if also the edges exist. So A and B are the edges, and B and C are also the edges. If these two exist in E, or set of edges, then therefore your G prime is a subgraph of G. AB and BC both exist, therefore G prime is a subgraph of G. So let's talk about our induced subgraph. So an induced subgraph is called an induced subgraph if E prime consists of all of the edges in your VW, or your ordered pairs in E, such that both vertices V and W are in V prime. Kani siya, lisod ni siya sabton, so pasabton tamo ani. Think of it like a truth table. So G prime only consists vertices A, B, and C. So we know that for E, we have edges A to B, A to D, A to C. Wala man tayo paki ni D, so let's remove D. Let's take a look at our edges. I have an edge from A to B and an edge from B to C. I don't have an edge to A to C. E prime rather has an edge from A to B and B to C. Wala po siya edge from A to C. And because they have the same result, therefore, G is an induced subgraph of, or G prime is an induced subgraph of G. Kay same sila og result. Wala lay X diri for some reason. But nagin na siya X. Next, let's have another example. Is graph A considered to be an induced subgraph of G? So let's take a look at A. A has BAC. Ngano di man siya subgraph? Because I have a point from B to A, B to C. So muna siyang atong mga edges. B to A, B to C. In this case, we have a B to A and an A to C. But in this case, wala maingon ana, wala may A to C dire. Wala sad ang atuang B to C, which is supposed to be here. Therefore, graph A is not an induced subgraph of G. So let's try to do graph B. So natay CB and BD. CB natay BD. Pero ngano dili siya induced subgraph? Because take a look. The edges from the three vertices, we have BD, BC, CD. Mo na siya ang edges dire. Sa ato ang main graph, rather. We have BD, BC, DB. Those are all of the edges. So if all those edges exist in our B, then it will be considered an induced subgraph. Pero kung tanaw nimo, naabay BC sa B, BC, naa B to C. Naay BD, naay B to D. Naabay CD, walay CD. Therefore, graph B is not considered to be an induced subgraph of G because it does not consist all of the edges in E where we have the vertices V and W. Or paths rather. So let's go. Ay, di gina path there, rather it's edges, sorry. VW are edges. Kaning VW. So let's move on to the simple cycle, cyclic graph, and free tree. Just like what we discussed previously, a simple cycle in a graph is a simple path of length 3 or more that connects a vertex to itself. So, if I can go from A to B to D to A, that is considered to be a simple cycle. And you have a cyclic graph if it contains at least one cycle. So, because na cycle dire, it's considered to be a cyclic graph. A connected cyclic graph is sometimes called a free tree. This is a connected graph, and there is a cycle. Therefore, this is a free tree. So what are the representations of our undirected graph? So similar to our directed graph, we have the adjacency matrix. In this case, you will insert a value of 1 if they are adjacent to each other. And it actually forms kind of a pattern if you take a look. So just like with the previous digraph, an adjacency matrix of the graph G is an n by n matrix A of Booleans. So Booleans are gihapon. Pero it's true and only true if there is an edge from vertex I to J. Same definition naman siya sa atong digraph. But the difference here is, it's always going to be an edge. Di na siya arc. So meaning, 0 has an edge to 1 and 1 has an edge to 0. So that means, from 0 to 1, there's a 1. And from 1 to 0, there is a 1. From 0 to 3, there is a 1. And from 3 to 0, there is a 1. 0 to 3 is a 1. And 3 to 0 is a 1. Kung directed pa to, pwede na siya nga 0 to 1, there is an edge, but from 1 to 0 walay edge, so mo na ma-0 siya dire. So this is an adjacency matrix of an undirected graph. Next, we have our labeled adjacency matrix. So just like the previous example, instead of just putting ones and zeros, ang atong ginaputang is the weight or the actual weight of the these aren't even arcs. I wouldn't call these arcs, the edge weights. So in this case, the weight of the edge from 0 to 1 is 5, and the weight of the edge from 1 to 0 is also 5. So from 1 to 0 is 5, from 0 to 1 is 5. 1 to 2 is 7, so 1 to 2 is 7, and 2 to 1 is 7. And so on and so forth. Very easy. So parehara ni siya, adjacency list representation. From 0 to 1 and 0 to 3, so 0 to 1 and 0 to 3. 1 has an edge from to 0, 2, and 3. 1 has an edge from 0, 2, and 3. 2 has an edge to 1 and 3. 2 has an edge to 1 and 3. 3 has an edge to 0, 1, and 2. 3 has an edge to 0, 1, and 2. So kani, this is important. So the minimum cost spanning tree. So suppose G, or suppose our graph with vertices and edges is a connected graph such that each edge in E has a cost. So important nga na ay cost ang atuang edge. A spanning tree for G is a free tree that connects all of the vertices in V. So sorry. Kanina, I think I remembered something about saying this is a free tree, and I just realized dili gini siya free di ay. It says acyclic, meaning a connected graph without a cycle. This doesn't have a cycle. This has a cycle, so this isn't a free tree. So please, I'm correcting myself right there. Murag na nalipat lang ko ani, di man ni mao. Cyclic akong basa, pero cyclic akong basa, pero it's actually acyclic. Gawa sa akong pagkabisaya. So going back, so a spanning tree for G is a free tree that connects all the vertices. So dapat free tree, wala siya'y cycle. And the cost of a spanning tree is the sum of the cost of all of the edges in the tree. One important application of MST is in the design of communication networks. So there are two algorithms in doing the minimum cost spanning tree, and these are Prim's algorithm and Kruskal's algorithm. So given your weighted graph, you need to construct the minimum cost spanning tree and determine the actual minimum spanning tree cost. So that's what is the purpose of our Prim's and Kruskal's algorithm. And that specific algorithm, or those algorithms rather, are going to be discussed in our next lecture. So that's it for today's lecture. I hope you guys were able to understand the representations of our undirected graphs, as well as other different definitions that are available for our undirected graphs, such as our subgraphs, our induced subgraphs, and a quick review of what we previously discussed. Thank you, and I'll see you in our next lecture for Prim's and Kruskal's algorithm.